Hey everyone, Black6 from BZPower here, coming at you to look at some Imperial Shuttle sets. So hopefully you have watched our recent review of 75302 Imperial Shuttle. That is this set right here, the newest one for 2021. It just so happened that I had a couple other Lego Imperial Shuttle sets still floating around in my collection. So I thought, hey, we should compare them all and see how they stack up. Yeah, see which one we like best. Obviously, they're kind of all catering at different markets, but you know, they're only one's available now too. So, but we're gonna take a look at them. So, quick rundown of Lego minifigure scale Imperial Shuttles over the years. In 2001 was the first set. I do not have that one, which retailed for $35. Had 238 parts and 4 minifigures. And that was featuring the Emperor. So that was from the beginning of Return of the Jedi when the Imperial Shuttle lands on the second Death Star and Emperor Palpatine comes out with his royal guards. And then the second Imperial Shuttle that's, I guess, kind of minifig scale is this guy right here, the Ucs Shuttle, which came out in 2010, retailed for $260, contains 2,503 parts, and has 5 minifigures, which I do not have. Long story there. And then we've got this guy here. So from 2015, this version of the Imperial Shuttle is the Imperial Shuttle Tidarium, which is the shuttle that the Rebels used to infiltrate Endor. So it's got Han and Chewie and Leia and Luke in there. So yeah, this set was $100 and contained 937 parts. And then finally we have this set here, which is $80, so $20 less, but it only has 660 parts. So it's, you know, almost 300 parts less, but also $20 less. Also, this set included, the 2015 version included 5 minifigs. This one only has 3. So you're missing out on a bunch, and obviously you can see right away the scale. You know, the newer one is also significantly smaller. Yeah, so if you watched my review, you know, one of the things that I commented on this shuttle is that the cockpit is very weird. You can immediately see on the UCS set, which obviously at the bigger scale, that, you know, they can work those angles a little better. It has a much more distinct shape than either of the two smaller sets. I do like the 2015 version. It is a little smoother on the top. It includes the grills on the front, which are also on the UCS set. And one other thing they do pretty good on this one is if you look at it from the side, it looks very finished. I mean, there's like a little bit of a gap down here, but the wedge plates here overlap with the system bricks, and it's a very unified connection. They even have some details underneath here with these little wall panels and clip elements to give a little bit of underneath detail. Which is, you know, fairly accurate to the source material, whereas on the new version here, you know, it's very empty and hollow. There's you know, the gap is more pronounced and bigger, especially when you look at it from the front. They also tacked on these stud shooters, which you know, easy enough to remove if you don't like them, but overall I just am not a fan of the way that looks. And here we can see if we can get both of these in frame. You can just see the difference in the profiles there and how much the 2015 one looks better in my opinion. So that's definitely one thing where I think this newer set is lacking, other than in size. And obviously, again, you know, they're catering to you know, a different demographic, trying to get a lower price point, which I think is admirable for them to do. A lot of people complain a lot, justifiably so, that Lego Star Wars sets are always so expensive, and, you know, Lego sets in general and Star Wars in particular. So it's nice that they're trying to lower that price point. It's just unfortunate it comes at like a loss of some details, which worked out so well in previous models. So as far as other comparisons, you know, they, I guess another thing with the cockpits is how they open. So on the 2015 one, it lifts open there, and you can actually fit 2 minifigs in that cockpit, whereas in this year's model, it goes forward, and you can only fit 1 minifigure in there. The way they open doesn't really matter too much to me. I do think it's a little easier to access in this one, and the fact that you can fit 2 minifigures in there is pretty nice. The UCS one also has an opening cockpit, and that does fold forward, kind of like this one. And there are 4 seats in there. Kind of hard for me to move my camera, so I'm not going to do that just so you can see, but there are 4 seats in there with plenty of space, but obviously bigger scale, so that's to be expected. One thing that I commented on in my review on this new set that I did like was the access to the interior. So again, if you haven't watched that review yet, there's a little mixel joint here you push up on, and that's connected to a rubber Technic connector, so it allows you to pretty much just flip that open and access the inside where you have a couple minifigures sitting. It's a lot more involved on this set, and actually it's even difficult to access it with the wings up, which is kind of a little bit of a problem, but these side panels here slide up, which is a cool mechanism. That, you know, the panels themselves sliding up works well, but then it is really difficult to get your hands in there while the wings are up, so you almost have to like kind of fold the wings out a little bit to get in there. But there's a lot more space in this one. You can see that you got Leia and like a cargo crate that has blasters and thermal detonators on there. And then if we flip that down, you got 2 other minifigures, and again, some more blasters and gear. So it's very spacious in there as a result of, you know, the way this mechanism works. Just a little bit more difficult to access. And one thing that it also is able to include because of that is if we go underneath here, you see this yellow Technic connector, there's actually a ramp that comes down, so they can actually kind of get in and out, which matches the film. And you can also see as we're down here, so it does have landing gear, which can kind of retract. You know, it doesn't, only probably changes its height by about a couple studs, but I think the fact that it does that is kind of cool. And the fact that it included landing gear at all is a pretty nice inclusion. Whereas on the current set, the landing gear is just like a couple Technic connectors, and there's no room at all for a ramp because it's all based on these Technic beams holding the entire thing together. So, and then on the UCS set, there is no interior at all. Despite being so large, a lot of it is made up of Technic constructions to allow these wings to unfold. If we spin this around, you can see there are these 2 cranks on here on the back that if I can start spinning this, you can see the wing will start to unfold. So there's a lot of Technic construction in there to get that to work so smoothly. And that's pretty much what most of the interior is there, and just structure to make this thing stable because it is pretty ginormous. So that is them with the wings closed. I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can fit them all on camera with the wings open, so we can see some of the other differences in the wing shapes as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so here we've got the wings extended. Definitely putting some strains on my photography video setup, so forgive the edges on the background there. With just one set, it was fine, but trying to get all 3 of them, especially this giant UCS shuttle, definitely is a little tricky. So when as we pan the camera around a little bit in this segment, trying to look at the different aspects of these shuttles, again, just forgive the edges. Pay no attention to the end of the backdrop. All right, so we've got these in the same order as before. So we've got the 2010 UCS shuttle, 2021, and 2015. Both of these guys use some sort of kind of click hinge, a little different in each one, but they both work quite well. And as I was showing off before, there's some cranks on the back of the UCS shuttle. One thing that is nice about the UCS shuttle is that it includes a stand to display it on in flight mode, whereas these guys, you can see I have co-opted some Lego store pick-a-brick cups to stand them on with their wings open. If you want to display yours with the wings open, probably going to have to build a stand, or if you want to get fancy, you can try hanging it from the ceiling or something like that. But no included stand, which is a bit of a bummer. One other thing I will show off about the UCS shuttle, showing off the landing gear on the two minifig scale ones. The UCS shuttle also has some landing gear that attaches with these Technic axles that you can easily pull the axles out of the bottom. So it doesn't retract in, which, not quite as nice as if it did, but it's nice that it is included, so you can display it with the wings up in a landing position, or again with the included stand, you can display it like it is now. Yeah, I think all of them capture the overall look of the Imperial Shuttle, right? That kind of three-wing equidistant design. They kind of have the same silhouette. If we start turning these sideways, and again, bear with me while I do this, especially since the 2015 one is kind of precariously balanced on this pick-a-brick cup. So it's going to be a little dicey turning this, but we're going to do our best here. You can see it's tilting over a little there. Please don't fall. Come on, Lego. You should design your pick-a-brick cups to support your Lego sets. Alright, and this guy we're gonna have to turn facing the opposite direction. Alright. So immediately on the two minifig scale sets, you can see that the main dorsal wings here are a bit different. They're actually fairly close to the same size. They both use 3 of these large slope pieces, but this one's a couple bricks taller, as you can tell, because it's got this bigger cutout in the bottom than this guy, who only uses 1 brick. It also has a bit of a cutout on the back, whereas this guy just has a straight line. They both have the 3 gray stripes, but I think just having that 1 brick there for that kind of return kind of doesn't capture some of the shape as well as it could. And if we move over and look at the UCS one, I'm going to have to pull back there. You can see that it has even more of a cutout here. And the back edge here is kind of a more gradual slope rather than a straight cutoff. So kind of some points against the new one, and just kind of some of the general shaping. The other thing that was kind of interesting to look at was the wings here. So you can see on the new one, it's a very simple design, essentially 4 plates with some supporting structure underneath, and they really just kind of used those 4 plates and was like, all right, that's good enough. And it results in having like this flat edge here, and they just kind of stuck with the angle of those, whereas in the 2015 version, it's a much more gradual angle, which is a little more subtle, and also doesn't have the flat edge at the front. I kind of really wish they had gotten rid of that flat edge at the front, because it's not super accurate. And and you can see on the UCS version that, again, that line tapers right into the connection point. So again, a little bit of inaccuracies there. They both have the gray stripes. It's interesting that this guy is kind of 90 degrees from the new model and the UCS version. So that's actually kind of some points against the 2015 set there. One thing that the new version does not have that both of these older ones do is these blasters here can rotate up and down, and the same thing on the 2015 version. But these ones, even though they have that dish there, that dish is purely decorative and the blasters are fixed in position. So, not a huge fan of that. It would have been nice if they had been able to move. Another thing that the 2015 version has is, it's kind of complaining about the stud shooters on the cockpit here, and there's kind of the cockpit shape in general, is that the 2015 version has the spring-loaded launchers. Can't really see them that well, but there is a little Technic piece right here that if you push in on that fires the spring-loaded launcher. So I always love it. I'm not a huge fan of the spring-loaded launchers or the stud shooters. I usually buy these sets to build them and display them for a bit and then use the parts. But I do like it when the designers are able to incorporate like an interesting and unique technique in there to put those pieces in there so they're not readily obvious. And you can kind of play with them if you want, but they're not going to take away from the display perspective of the set if you don't like them. So yeah, I think that's the big differences with these three sets here. Obviously the UCS set is going to cater to the adult collector more, right? That's why it doesn't have the interior. That's why it has fewer play features, but a greater level of detail. So kind of focusing on the two recent minifig scale sets from 2015 and 2021, it's really kind of impressive what they were able to do with an extra $20 in price for the 2015 version. We got two more minifigures in it, and just sometimes buying a minifigure on its own two minifigures on their own will cost you $20, especially if they are fairly rare, which I believe some of the Endor outfit figures from this set were fairly rare. So yeah, for $20 more, you got two more minifigures, almost 300 more parts, some better play features, better accuracy, just kind of better everything pretty much except for access to the interior cargo area. Although there was more cargo space, you do get landing gear, you do get a ramp. So it's kind of sad that we've seen all of this kind of go away in the new set. I do really like the ease with which you can open that and get to the inside. Just kind of sad that it is not all that large. So maybe seeing these comparisons will help you decide whether or not you want to pick up this new set from this year, the new Imperial Shuttle. It's not a bad set by any means, but if you have one of these previous sets, maybe this will help you realize that, hey, maybe you don't need to pick up the new one, or at least wait for it to go on sale or something. I'm definitely thankful. I'm very glad LEGO sent us this new Imperial Shuttle. Appreciate it. I don't think it's a bad set by any means. I think if you're a kid who maybe was not born in 2015 when this set came out, or you're just a little one not ready to build these full LEGO sets, and now you are, there's nothing wrong with this new Imperial Shuttle. Definitely appreciate that it comes in at a lower price point, but that lower price definitely comes at a cost in other areas as far as minifigures and detail and play features. So make of that what you will. hopefully you guys enjoyed this look at these 3 Imperial Shuttle sets. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. You can head on over to BZPower.com or .info to check out the full review of the new 2021 Imperial Shuttle that we've got there, where we will kind of go into all the aspects of it, the design, the parts, the minifigures, and help you draw some conclusions as far as whether or not you should get it. Yeah, we'll catch you next time. We've got some more reviews in the works, both for myself and other members of the BZPower team, so keep your eyes peeled both on our YouTube channel and on our website for those. Until next time, this is going to be Black 6 from BZPower, signing off.